field of prioritization, and don't know how long that would take. If they would wait until June of 17 when they're doing the ranking again, if they would wait till then, which really wouldn't serve us much good because we're required to have a plan, have certain requirements in place by then with the sustainability agencies. If they were doing it quicker and they were ruling on our dispute of some of the data they had, that could help us and kind of postpone these the actions that the state might take. So that happens in 2017. They may take this information and the information and submit it at that point. Also, there's in the 2017 ranking, there'll be additional criteria that are in there that will affect the overall scoring. Groundwater's influence on the overland ecosystems will be one, and surface water groundwater interactions will be another. So the scoring, by necessity, everything will have to be adjusted to some degree to account for those new criteria. Really, that's it. So, I know this is just a brief introduction of the legislation and some of the background, but I hope it was a service to you and if there's any questions that we have.
Question here.
The agreement between BWR and Fish and Game would ask you on the float to improve groundwater. Does that take into consideration any of this? The agreement between BWR and Fish and Game on the float actually wildlife area to improve groundwater. Is that taken into consideration of it?
The criteria for the current ranking is the one that just went over. The ecosystem type interactions and stuff are going to be part of the 17, the June 17 ranking that was mandated to be part of this one. So it may be less a little bit more in 2017.
My name is Roger Crookshank. I'm a board member of our local MoDOT Lassen County Flood Control District. We have been monitoring wells. We have 123 meters on wells in the valley. The water table varies from 14 feet to 107 feet in these wells. We have been keeping records for about 15 years, which we don't like to make public because it's rather personal property for each person who owns the ground that they're farming. The Department of Water Resources does monitor 11 wells. They do it on elevation, not from surface to the level of the water, so it is very hard to understand.
Well, this, if I may interrupt, I apologize. Although this is hard to see, this is on this side is elevation, and then on the right side is distance from the surface. So this hydrograph actually has both on there.
So they're finally doing that. Okay.
Yeah, can you sort of give us, with reference to the state and these water districts, what the definition of sustainability is? Is that based upon volume? Is it based upon toxicity? What is that based upon?
I don't have enough information to answer that question right now.
We just had a MoDOT meeting. It's sustainability in itself is not defined. What is defined is things like subsidence, overdraft, and sustainability then by default becomes avoidance of subsidence, overdraft. So yes and no.
To help answer your question, I heard one guy explain it best. They got all these plans and all this stuff that they want, they give them parameters. And he described it best as kind of like porn. I don't know if it's porn or not. You show it to me and I'll tell you if it is. And that's kind of what they're doing with these plans. You show it to me and I'll tell you if it will suffice or not. And then kind of go back to Roger with his information to me. and so that they can,
Tax you.
well, I come here to spend it, so they can send it all down to LA. That's my personal opinion, because we're not really voters. And Rich and I went to the groundwater meeting up there in Modoc. Modoc, they have two basins, Big Valley and Snap, Big Valley is in Modoc County. And they also have the two lake basin. Two lakes is a little different story because they used to be all surface water, and there's just all the water, they had to go to the well drilling, and so now they have this irrigation district up there, so it's pretty new and novel that they're going to take it over up there and include the plant up there in Modoc. Big Valley, a little bit different animal down here, and the way the state wants us to do it is they want the locals to come in and police themselves. So they want Kevin and Roger and Andy to tell everybody in Big Valley how to run their water. If those guys don't want to do it, it's going to come back to the Lassen County. So now Jim, Aaron, Bob, Jeff, and Tom are going to tell everybody in Big Valley how to do their stuff.
We don't
If
do
we
it.
don't do it, the state's going to come in and tell us how to do it.
That's the best.
And that's the bad flash.
More questions? And this is just no more than a brief introduction. It's all new to everybody. Even the state legislature don't know much about it. Everybody just kind of looking the other direction because we try to find out what's going on. Things are going to change every day.
So it looks like Big Valley is going to be the test case for Lassen, because the other basins are on the other side of the hill, so they're going to mess with us now.
Well, at this point, you got high priority, which is basically Charleston Valley, Sacramento Valley. Medium is a lot other than the map you say figure it out. Medium is Big Valley, is only medium. Lassen is low priority, which means we do not have to do this or our management objectives is enough to keep them off our backs at this point. And very low is Wilford Valley, is very low. So you got to be a high or medium to be.
Well, the water in the rest of the county flows towards the valley. So
Right.
what we need to do is figure out how to divert the water here to go the other way.
It seems like that, I asked that question, they said, no, it has nothing to do with it. It seems like any water that flows towards Central Valley is where they're really big hard knows about it. Lassen County, there is Lake Valley, Long Valley, South Long Valley, it's done. So those seem to be on our backs and bad, but that's why we personally.
I was talking with Brian about something, you refresh my memory, Brian, we were talking one time about what you guys have to pay the State Water Resource Control Board, just for the town of Beaver with the municipal water. You guys have to pay them, set them out, and you said something about LA, that there's a cap on the bigger organization. What was it?
Well, just because we do the sewer here also. Just on our sewer, what's it called, the permit for that, it's about $12,000 a year for roughly 150 connections. The max that any sewer district at this time pays is $25,000 a year discharge permit. That's 7 million people in LA pay $25,000 and 300 people in Beaver pay $12,000, half the cost. So,
I don't know if we have any better this year, but when we have this year, we can place for the sewer. You got the dump right out there, they pay $24,000 if it's done. You got the dump in Mudrock, you have the dump in Hayden. You have the irrigated land management up here, but everybody has irrigated land. They have to pay $50 an acre for that. Then they're starting to put drought on us, which is the non-irrigated land. Of course, that got pushed off, and then we come back in the future. Now they got this. You have your water right fees, you have to pay the State Water Resource Control Board. You have your dam fees, you have to pay. I mean, when does it stop? I mean, there's got to be a cap on it, so communities have to pay months.
That's the plan.
So anyway, so I don't know if that's something we need to fight with about, but I really encourage Brian to make contact with Richard Galen to help us, and we'd like to hopefully get our scoring reduced so we can fall out of the medium part of things and let somebody else in there.
well, like you said, the water permit is $10,000 a year for 300 for 150 connections.
Just before you take that off, would you go to the ones that had multiple groundwater monitoring and the red line? By the way, I'm Joseph Boyd, technically, I'm Lassen County Ag Commissioner too. It's more like a running title, because, Craig came up with the annual presentation. Thank you very much, Craig. Thank you for voting for it. Let that one keep going. Yeah, the checking of the boxes. So, I'm here today, yeah, there we go. To talk about, I fully endorse and support that we try to change the ranking system because we're close to the numbers. And in regards to LA getting your water, you do realize there's an LA City Power and Water employees and building over in Cedarville, California. So that's already a gone thing, okay? A long time ago they were looking at Alkali Lakes, bring Columbia River down, store it in the Alkali Lakes, bring it down, but there's still a facility out there, so they have a mighty long reach, and we're not going to replumb the state. The state was plumbed north to south, and people don't want that tube under the thing, but I'm telling you, it's here. What I want to tell them is the reason to do this, forget that the fees, all the contentious issues, farmers fighting farmers, the water fight, it's just this trend. That's the reason to at least start having meetings, have growers get together. I mean, you're one that has the well, and you don't want the information. And I think we could also do some fight to say, okay, fine, public knowledge of what the trends, but releasing personal data, where your farm is, what your name is, I think we could do something to go along with it. Because we do it in other areas.
Yeah, you can try to disguise kind of,
right.
We don't show it to the parcel level, but do it with
and there's a court case right now at the Supreme Court, or heading to the Supreme Court, about environmental organizations releasing information of who gets farm programs, specific information, your name, your address, or your kids go to school.
Well, not only that, but there is a lot of ground that's being developed down there. So all of a sudden, my well is getting influenced by all this.
Exactly. And that's why I'm here to stump for that we should at least be meeting locally. I understand the reason to say we don't want to do this. We want to go there. We don't want to enable them to come regulate your well when you've been complying all this time. But also here to stump for if we can find individuals who want to start meeting about how do we address this situation locally. And that's the reason why. And on top of it, the state's threatening to come do it for you if we don't. So I guess in a nutshell, that's what I'm here to stump for. And what the hell, I'm not that far away. When you start having meetings, let me know when you start coming to them. Plus, we have the problem of that county line. Really, there's more wells, there's more activity, there's more farming on the Lassen County side, but we all understand that. But another hurdle is the fact that since it's two counties, everything has to be vetted twice. So that puts us behind the eight ball time-wise. So my view is that we should start getting some people who are interested in checking some of those boxes and start having meetings and see where we can take it. You have another question?
My concern is if we do try and lower our designation, how much time is that going to take, for one thing? And my feeling is that they're not going to change it. They've already made up their mind. And we could sure try and do that, but I'm just concerned that's going to take too much time. And by our deadline, we're not going to have a plan in place, and we're going to be stuck with the state coming in and making decisions for us.
And I will tag on to that. And you're creating a bullseye for them to come do a test case in Lassen.
If I could address that issue, and Galen reviewed this a little bit. The threshold for becoming a median priority basin is 13.42, and Big Valley is 13.5. So 0.08 of a percent is why Big Valley is a median priority basin versus a low priority basin. And that's initially why staff and I have discussed the potential of challenging some of the data that's used in the spreadsheet that Galen went through there, because some of it appears to be either dated or maybe just flawed. And we think that if we're able to find a mechanism to challenge that, find data to support that it should be under 13.5 .42, then if nothing else, that would buy us a couple years to watch all the other areas of the state go through the grinder on this and figure out what the state's going to do then. I think it's worth exploring. I still think it's worth exploring, trying to challenge that. I understand the issue about the timing. We need to have a plan in place by the end of the calendar year. And I think that, perhaps we go down both roads at the same time until we get indications one way or another whether we think we're going to be successful. But I guess I am not ready to just capitulate and give up to the designation over 0.08 of a point yet. Maybe they'll be successful. Maybe they've already made up their mind. But I'm not convinced of that yet.
Another thing to think about is, under that valley, we're getting barely under that threshold of becoming. We got to keep an eye on, you should end up there out here. 2 years from now, they might get this up in you. So it's very important to keep an eye on it.
I will say that at our meeting on Thursday, the other day, the information that I believe it was Jack Rice gave us on their tally on how they come up with that number, you look at some of the basins and their own math doesn't even add up. So I think there is some room to get that designation lowered, but I do think we need to work at both ends and
we need to be like we should be close at the same time.
I do understand your concern. I do report to the state every month with public water. So I know when you go and investigate this thing, that you do put a target on your back. They want, oh, you got that, so you have this. Oh, and you're going to do this and this and this. And it pours out of a bucket at you. But with this, I do agree, 0.08 of an inch is right, or of a foot, you're right there. I do think this is explorable. I think there is a thing to get this, maybe our status changed to a low for another couple of years. It's coming. There's no stopping it. But I do believe that there is loopholes in there where you can, but also the meetings have to be started. You have to at least be attempting a goal of managing it, which we should. I mean, not only the town's water, everybody else's water. We all have to work together to get this rectified, and I believe challenging it is viable.
Very good.
The board has established 2 committees in terms of groundwater. There's standing committees of the board to talk about and discuss groundwater. We haven't, the clerk's advice forum hasn't been as much interest. Perhaps that's changed now. That is one vehicle, not the only vehicle for a discussion to happen. But it's something that's already in place in the county.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, guys. One more here.
It's kind of information. Is MoDOT part of Big Valley? Is it medium 2 or low half?
It's the same designation because it's medium. And like I say, I want to make it understood. I clearly support trying to get that changed, especially since numbers so close. But I hate to put people on the spot, but watch this. He already serves groundwater advisory committee for our committee has pumps and land in this basin. And the basin isn't going to change, and it straddles the county. There's nothing we can do about that. Tim, would you be willing to serve as a committee member? Yeah. We would definitely want this gentleman because he brings that expertise from 1, 2, 3. How about you?
I was the one that came up with that.
Like I said, I hate to put you on the spot, but if we could get 5 guys, you never want an even number board, right? Because you don't want to split votes. It's got to be odd. 3 on the Big Valley side, on the Lassen side, 1 on the MoDOT side, and a municipal rep. We're not that far away from having some bodies to. I mean, what is the harm in to start having meetings and start exploring this stuff? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Round up people. Andy?
You gotta get together and work with the county staff too to keep it all together.
Well, I suggest we'll have a little bit of an impromptu meeting after this thing outside, and I guess somebody's going to have to report back to you. Thank you very much.
Sure. You have to bargain training.
All right, good afternoon now. Mr. Chairman, Board of Supervisors, King Brother, Sheriff Porter. The first item we have, I'm requesting authorization to fill 2 deputy sheriff positions with the rank of deputy sheriff recruit and send them to the police academy. The total cost is right around $45,000. It's a big price tag. A little bit of history. We used to send people to the police academy, and when we sent them, they paid the standard per diem rate that we pay our employees when they go to training, but we also supplied them with housing. So a couple of years ago, we worked with county administration, and we negotiated for a new position within their MOUs for deputy sheriff recruit that allows us to pay a lower per diem rate and a lower pay rate while they're in the academy. Now, the last 100 years, we've been recruiting out of the police academies. We're still trying to do that, but we're getting no applications. We haven't had an application since February, and that was the guy who wanted to come to us Lassen from a neighboring county, but he couldn't afford what we pay. So unfortunately, we don't have any applications in the hopper right now. I have 3 current vacancies. I got notice from one guy yesterday, and we're expecting 2 more within the next month. So that's got to put us down 6 deputies out of the 18 that we're patrol. We have 22 deputy sheriff positions. 2 of them are assigned to full-time stateless. They're paid by contract for them. 2 assigned investigation. 1 does child crimes, basically sex crimes and so on. The other 1 is vehicle contract with the welfare department to do welfare fraud investigation. So that leaves me 8. So 18 for patrol. With the 6 vacancies we're going to have, that leaves me at 12. And you're always going to have some out for one reason or another. I've got 3 out sick right now. So that gives me 9 people to cover patrol. So with no applications, really, I don't think we have any other options right now than to pursue this. So between 2005 and 2009, we sent 8 people to the police academy. We still have 4 of those currently. One of them services this area, lives up here, Scott Withrow. Another one worked for us for a long period of time, and that's left about a year ago to work with CHP, Randy Sheffer. So we've seen some value in that. So even though we only have 4 left of the 8 we've sent, that's still a lot better track record than the other options. Right now, I mentioned turnover. The advantage with this is it'll help us, it'll give the people in the jail something to look forward to if they have an interest in patrol. Right now, last year we turned over more than 60% of our jail staff. We need something to help you retain them. You know, that lack of experience in jail, the more sophisticated offenders we have, is really causing us some serious issues. Right now, I've done everything I can, or not everything I can, but I've done a number of things to try to recruit. We restarted the support program in 2011 to get youth high school age involved in around law enforcement. You know, we're doing the open houses, keeping people community educated. We hired retired law enforcement personnel to help us with backgrounds. Now they work a couple of days a week just doing backgrounds between the patrol and the jail. And if we didn't have that in place, we would be in real trouble with hiring. We've done correctional officer testing. We're doing that online now, which is expedited things. So anyway, we've done a bunch in-house to try to help. Now, of those, originally when it came to you in February to just bring this issue to light and start the discussion about it, we were hoping to send 4 and recruit from the Big Valley area and send, because I have a specific problem with positions here just because of the remote location. Right now, just because of the time frame of the academy starting in July, there's no way I can hire someone from the Big Valley area. It would require psychological evaluation, medical, physical fitness, that's all those things in time. So what I'm hoping to do, if you approve this one, what I'm hoping to do is send 2 people in January and recruit specifically from the Big Valley area, from people in the community who have an interest in law enforcement. I think that's going to help in the long-term It's actually technically 18. You know, most of the time we have sent people to the police academy younger than 21. We have to write a letter so that they can buy a gun. Or we supply them one, but yeah, most of the people, we hope that people hire people who are around 20 and maybe have a social security. Right now, we're not getting any.
You give them one bullet at a time.
It depends.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we authorize the sheriff's office to approve two deputy positions for the deputy sheriff to authorize the expenditure of $23,640 for their attendance in the college academy. I think we also need to look more closely at our compensation package in terms of how we do this, and some pay benefits for these positions, because with the long-term, given the competition with prisons and with other law enforcement agencies around, we have to make ourselves more competitive.
Here we got a motion, we have a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Thank you, Dean. We got one more item, 8-7, contract agreement with Lassen Family Services.
All right, now this one I can probably do in 2 minutes.
Are you good?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
All right, so we've been to you before on this burn jag grant program. This program where we use criminal involvement by our youth. This is funding that used to fund our narcotics task forces. It was repurposed for other, and the program purposes areas were broadened. We worked with our local community partners and decided that our priority was to try to keep our youth from becoming involved in our system, or those that have been involved, keep them from getting further involved in our system. So, Lassen Family Services, the reason why we're requesting a contract with them, they are already providing some of these services in our local schools. They're doing the VIP, the Violence Intervention Prevention Program at Lassen High School. We're hoping to expand that program to other high schools around the county, including up here. And they're also going to help us present the life skills program in middle schools around the county. They were a partner along with Melody Brawley, Jim Brady, and I in developing this program, and they have a lot of experience in developing, implementing, and evaluating new programs. So that's why we would like to partner with them by way of this contract, and I'd appreciate it if you would authorize the CAO to sign that contract.
Motion to, being done, do a motion.
Second.
Motion second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Ayes have it. Richie, do you have anything?
Very, very quickly, the Veteran Service Officer recruitment has closed. We've got applicants. I'll be scheduling for the board's interviews, hopefully at the next meeting. I think it's, after briefly looking at the application, looks like probably the board should interview all four. I'm discussing with council whether or not that could or should be done in closed or open session. To the extent that the board has a preference, we will attempt to accommodate that, because the default will be open session, but if for some reason the board wants to conduct those interviews in closed, we will explore that. That's one issue. And I did attend the meeting, the groundwater meeting with Aaron up in Modoc last week. Also had the opportunity to take a look at their courthouse, which has recently undergone some improvements and remodeling. They put their courthouse is somewhat similar to ours in construction era. They put an elevator on the outside of the building. It's very unobtrusive from the street view. You can hardly tell it's there. Something I think we'll be looking at like that for our courthouse. The other item, the RFP for emergency medical services, the bidders conference was last Friday, and that process is moving along swiftly. We'll have those bids due next month and be reviewed. That's all I have. I would like to get some sort of consensus about whether we want to do open session or closed session
Well, I think
interviews.
a lot of times the closed sessions can get people more from their perspective than their perspective.
If you want to leave that up to my discretion, maybe review the individual applicants. Come up with an idea. How much time would the board like to interview each? 15 to 20 minutes.
The only thing I would say is if you choose to do open session on one, you got to stand on convention to apply for all.
So like we scheduled out the afternoon of the next board meeting. That's all I have.
Okay, anything else before we do?